Okay, let's be honest. Have you ever felt like reading just isn't for you? Like you should read more, but books feel boring or you just can't find the focus? Well, if that sounds like you, then you're in exactly the right place. We're going to look at 9 specific books that are basically designed to flip that reading switch inside your brain.
No, really. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you got so lost in a book that you completely forgot where you were? If the answer is, I can't remember, or maybe even, that's never happened to me, I totally get it. And you are exactly who this is for.
Here's the big secret, the one thing I really want you to take away from this. Reading isn't the problem. You're not the problem. It's just that the wrong books are boring. It's not about willpower. It's about finding that one perfect match that changes everything.
So, first up, let's dive into fiction. And listen, forget everything you think you know about dense, difficult novels. These are stories that are so gripping, so immersive, they honestly feel more like watching a movie. They're built to pull you in from page one and just not let go.
We're going to start with The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. On the surface, it's this simple little fable about a shepherd boy who goes on a journey to find a treasure. But what it's really about is finding your own purpose and learning to listen to your heart. It's a book that speaks directly to the dreamer in all of us. So what makes this book such a perfect starting point? Well, first off, the writing is just simple. It's almost magical in how easy it is to read. But at the same time, the story itself feels incredibly profound, like it's speaking directly to your soul. It feels less like reading a novel and more like a wise friend sharing life-changing secrets with you. And that deep connection has led to this. Over 65 million copies sold. That is just staggering. It's not just a bestseller, it's a global phenomenon. It's proof of just how many people this one simple story has touched. Seriously, if you only read one book from this entire list, this is a fantastic choice. All right, next up. This book is legendary for one reason, and one reason only. It turns non-readers into readers. I'm talking about The Hunger Games. This is the book that got an entire generation absolutely hooked on reading. It is pure, high-stakes adrenaline from the first page to the last. And the secret sauce is really in its structure. The chapters are super short, and almost every single one ends on a cliffhanger, making it physically hard to stop reading. You just have to know what happens next. The action is so vivid, you don't even feel like you're reading. You feel like you're watching it all play out in your head. Now, maybe you want a story that's going to hit you on a deeper, more emotional level. If so, there's A Thousand Splendid Suns. Just a heads up, this one is a heavy hitter. It's an unforgettable story about 2 women in Afghanistan and their unbreakable bond through decades of hardship. The reason it works so well is its raw humanity. These characters feel so real, they'll stay with you for a long, long time. Okay, but what if you've never, ever finished a book in your entire life? I mean, ever. Then you start here, The House on Mango Street. This slide says it all. The chapters are these tiny little stories, sometimes just a few paragraphs long. You can read it in these small, super satisfying bursts. It's this beautiful story about a young girl growing up, and it's told in a way that is just so easy to digest. Absolutely zero pressure, all the impact. And hey, for anyone out there who hears classic literature and just thinks long and boring, think again. John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men is this gut-wrenching story about friendship that you can literally finish in an afternoon. Same with Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea, a short, powerful punch of a story about struggle and dignity. Both of these are proof that a story doesn't have to be long to be legendary. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk about nonfiction. Maybe you're someone who prefers practical, real-world ideas over stories. Well, these books are for you. And don't worry, these aren't dry, boring textbooks. They're written to feel like a great conversation, packed with actionable advice to actually improve your life. We absolutely have to start with Atomic Habits by James Clear. There's a reason this is probably the most popular self-help book of the last decade, and that reason is simple. The advice in it actually truly works. The entire book is built around this one powerful idea, the 1% rule. It says you don't need some massive, heroic act of willpower to change your life. You just need to get 1% better, every single day, consistently. The book is just packed with these super simple strategies, and every chapter delivers a little aha moment. And again, just look at the numbers. Over 20 million people. That's how many have used the ideas in this book to change their lives. It's just a clear, simple guide to becoming a better you, one tiny step at a time. Do you ever feel like you're juggling 100 different things at once, but not actually getting anything done? If you're nodding your head, the one thing is your antidote. The message is just refreshingly simple. Stop trying to do everything. Instead, find and focus on the one single most important thing you can do right now. It just cuts through all the noise and gives you clarity.
And our final nonfiction pick is Ikigai. It's this short, beautiful book that explores the Japanese concept of your reason for being. You know, that sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, and what the world needs all come together. It's a calm, inspiring read that feels like you're talking to a wise friend, and it's perfect if you're searching for a little more meaning in your life.
So, we've talked about 9 incredible books, but just knowing about them, that's only half the battle. The most important part of this whole thing is what you decide to do next.
I really want you to let this one sink in. Every single person you know who loves to read, who says a book changed their life, they were once a non-reader. Every one of them started with that one single book that finally clicked and opened the door. They started right where you might be right now, maybe a little skeptical, maybe unsure, but hopefully a little bit curious.
So, here it is, the challenge. And I promise, it's incredibly simple. Don't commit to a whole book. Heck, don't even commit to a whole chapter. Just pick the one book from this list that made you think, maybe. And then just read the first page. That's it. That is the entire commitment. Because here's the real magic of it. When you find the right book, you don't need discipline to keep going. The story, the ideas, the writing, it does the heavy lifting for you. It pulls you in. The book itself becomes the motivation. So the only question left is, which first page will you read?